Quiz night, and we're going to do some vocabulary. Hopefully right now we can chat in the comments. Vocab quiz on YouTube. This is what it's about. This is what it's about. We should do a spelling quiz, would be cool. I know everyone hates spelling, but we can do something. See if anyone joins. We're doing a vocabulary quiz, so we're going to wait a sec. If someone in the comments, I'd love to know if you're here. And we're going to do. Hello, Gene. I hope you're well. Quiz today. This is what it's all about. Quiz. This should be the place. Oh, look at that. It doesn't. No, I just want to put the letter B. Hey, wow. So we're doing a food quiz today. Sorry, I'm kind of writing the pieces in. Eugene. So, fruit, honey, or poultry are the options here. And the question is, which is produced by insects? Is it A, B, or C? A, B, or C? I'm gonna go on iTunes. Let's go on Instagram Live and just quickly tell people, so more people join and are part of this session. So yes, guys, I'm live on YouTube. We are doing a food quiz, and the answers for this one are A is fruit, B is honey, and C is poultry. If you know the answer, put it in the comments, guys. I'm on YouTube doing a food quiz, and the question is, which made by insects? Is it fruit, honey, or poultry? You can come through. I'm going to be doing this all night. No, I'm not. I'm going to be doing it for about 30 minutes, though. We're going to be doing a quiz, practicing some vocab, and really trying to improve. Hello, nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. So, yeah, a food made by insects. Which one is it? Do you know? Type it in the comments, guys. Jean, Thunder, whoever's there. Type it in the comments if you know the answer. A food made by insects, Gene. Insects. A food made by insects. Do you know? Type it in the comments if you know. Lots of answers on Instagram, guys. Gee, nice to see you. A food made by insects. Hattie's here. Hiya, Hattie. Nice to see you. And I'm going to give the answer in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is honey. Of course, honey is the answer. So if you're interested in joining the quiz, I'm going to be on YouTube doing it right now. We're doing a quiz, vocabulary quiz. Come join us. Stu Sensei English for the YouTube name. Hopefully, I'll see you here soon. Ciao. Me is your honey. Yes. So yeah. Anyway, yo Kahing, nice to see you. So yeah, we did the first one. The first one was. Hopefully, it fixes by 11. Thunder. I really hope that, because otherwise we're going to be stuck for in that session. But yes, honey was the answer. So here's the next one we're going to go for. The answers are very delicious, easily cooked, or safely eaten. These are the answers to the next question. Here they go. Here they go. Here they go. Eaten. I spelled eaten wrong. Can I edit it? Nope, can't edit it. Eaten. Anyway. And the question is, yeah, nice to see you. Great to see you here. And we've got, if something is edible, it can be if something is edible, it can be very delicious, easily cooked, safely eaten. What do you think is the answer? Great to see you here. I really appreciate you joining for tonight's quiz. What do you think the answer is? We're talking about the word edible. Edible. So if something is edible, it can be safely eaten, easily cooked, or very delicious. So what do you think is the answer? Sure, no worries, Novi. No worries, Novi. I'll tell you one more time. Here we go. If something is edible, it can be either. If you scroll back up the chat, you'll see that my message is in there. I think it's a bit bolder than everyone else's. The answers are A, very delicious, B, easily cooked, or C, safely eaten. I'm going to give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. The answer is C, safely eaten. That's right. Edible is a great word though, so please learn it if you don't know it. It is very useful. It comes up with, I want to just type the letter B, but it's coming up with some guy with glasses, which is no good. I don't need the emoji right now. I'm going to have an emoji. It should be at least be a food one. Okay, here's the question. Here is the answers for you. Fruits and seeds, dairy foods, animals and birds. Okay, these are the answers. And here's the question. It's got some difficult vocabulary. Okay, before the development of agriculture, what did people hunt? Before the development of agriculture, what did people hunt? People at home that don't think my dishes are edible. Oh, I don't believe you. I'm sure your food is delicious. Before the development of agriculture, what did people hunt? I wonder why they separated animals and birds. Why? Birds are animals, yeah. Strange. Before the development of agriculture, what did people hunt? So, is it fruits and seeds, dairy foods, or animals and birds? You can see. Can you see my name in the chat, Gene? It says Stu Sensei English, and according to my screen, it's in bold, but maybe it's not. Hello. Before the development of agriculture, it's a good dictation practice, isn't it? Animal and birds, with no doubt, no doubt. Okay, the answer is before the development of agriculture, what did people hunt? They went for animals and birds, or just animals. So the answer is C. If you got C, nice job. Interesting fact. What is the reason why some animals have no plural? So for example, fish, we don't usually say fishes unless we're talking about more than one of the varieties of fish. For example, salmon. If there's salmon, tuna, I don't know, shark, all in the same water, we might say fishes then. But in regards of one type of fish, we don't say fishes, we just say fish again. Same with deer. We don't have a plural term for it. Why do you think that is? There is fishes if you're talking about more than one type of fish. But why do you think that is? It's actually linked to this question. It's believed, we're not actually not sure on this one. It's one thing we're not sure about, but it's believed words related to hunting have the same word as the countable. So deer, sorry, is for plural, as in more than one. So deer is singular and plural, and fish is singular and plural. It's believed that it's because of hunting, because actually the word deer was the word used for all animals. I think I probably could guess that animals is a French word. I don't know that for a fact, but I do know for a fact. Let's check that out. I'm not going to just say that and then leave you hanging. But deer was the word used for all animals a long time ago. Let me just check my etymology app. But yeah, so that is interesting. Yeah, completely different word used for animals. Animals from where? That's from Latin. So that's interesting. So we actually only picked it up in the 14th century. And that replaced deer. Deer was then made more specific, obviously used to relate to something with antlers or without. And yeah, are not English words. Fish, deer is an English word. It's an old English word. So let's go into next. The next question. Etymology, yeah. Bye-bye. So let me write the next answers for you. Let's see how we do on the next one, which is all about. Okay, we're going to get the word edible again. Edible plants is A. B is wild animals. C, meat and eggs. I apologize for the smiling guy. Okay, I apologize. Deer is definitely an English word. It's an old English word. It's originally from Old English. It's definitely English. Or it's probably, it wouldn't surprise me if it's originally from Indo-European. I don't know that bit. I know it's definitely was used in Old English before French came in about 1066. But edible plants, well, I don't know about fish so much though. I haven't really checked that one. Edible plants, wild animals, or meat and eggs. The smiling guy, that is the letter B. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. Weird. Let's check up the word fish. That's great, buddy. I'm happy for you. Nice job. Good boasting. Okay, here we go. So the question is, agriculture, again, developed when people began cultivating what? Cultivating is a nice word. Agriculture developed when people began cultivating what? Eddie, wow. Wow. What do you think? Agriculture, what was it? I lost it. Agriculture developed when people began cultivating what? A, B, or C? Love to know. Edible plants, wild animals, or meat and eggs? Edible plants, wild animals, or meat and eggs? Many people put in answers, and I'll tell you the answer. Agriculture developed when people began cultivating edible plants. So agriculture relates to putting seeds in the ground, creating and nurturing plants to grow so we can eat them. So which word could be defined as an edible seed that grows in a long seed pod? Interesting. So here's the answers. Nut, potato, broccoli, garlic, onion, and carrot. Definitely. I like all of those. All of the above are good. Smiling guy, remember, is the B. So the question is, which word could be defined as an edible seed that grows in a long seed pod? Wow, it loves the word edible today. Which word could be defined as an edible seed that grows in a long seed pod? Is it A, B, or C? A, B, or C? I'm great, Fatima. Great to see you here. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. A, B, or C? A, B, or C? Which word could be defined as an edible seed that grows in a long seed pod? So we have bean, we have grain, What do you think the answer is, guys? A nut, a bean, or a grain? Hum, 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 hum. We have nut, green. We have bean, grain, bean, A. Bean. You put the smiley face. Nice job. It's really annoying. I can't put the B. But it's fine. You run. Ah, said Thunder. Okay, we've got a mixed response for this one. This should be an interesting answer. So, which word could be defined as an edible seed that grows in a long seed pod? The answer is bean. Mr. Bean, maybe, or just bean. Bean is the answer to that one. Let's move on to the next one. We have food seeds, grains, and beans for the next answers. What seeds from grasses such as wheat? No, sorry. What are seeds from grasses such as wheat, rice? What do you think they are called? What are seeds from grasses such as wheat and rice called? Are they food seeds? Are they grains? Or are they beans? Which one? A couple of answers there you can choose from. I should change it to just emojis. There shouldn't be an A. That'd be fun. I'm going to do that in the future. See, this one weakness has turned into a strength. I think that'll be more fun for people. Smiley face or the crying face or the angry face are your answer choices. So let me say it one more time. What are seeds from grasses such as wheat and rice called? I'm going to try and do that now. Let's try. Smiley face. I'm going to give the answer very shortly. Oops. What do you think the answer is? What are seeds from grasses such as wheat, rice, and rice called? I'll make an angry face. We're going for B. B is super popular, or the sunglass guy, or grains. The totally grains. Okay. Oh, here is your. I'm not going to do this again because it really slows up on YouTube. It slowed my. Here's the next answers. So we had grains was the answer there. What do poultry farmers usually raise? That's a really nice question. What do poultry farmers usually raise? Do they raise eggs, chickens, or feathers? What do you think? Feathers. Feathers. Eggs, chickens, or feathers? Please, smiley face, or the sunglasses guy, or the dabbing guy. What do you think? What do poultry farmers usually raise? We have a smiley face in. What else do we have? This is, yeah, maybe it's just entertaining to me. Everyone's trying to find how to make the buttons for it, I suppose. What do poultry farmers usually raise? Some people saying eggs, some people saying chickens. No one's going for the dabber. I've just made it more awkward for people. People are writing in eggs because they don't know how to make the faces. So we'll go back to A, B, C. Or 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's easier. Eggs, chickens, or feathers? What do you think, guys? I'm going to tell you the answer in 2 seconds. What do poultry farmers usually raise? Poultry farmers usually raise chickens. Now, the important words are poultry, which refers to chickens or turkeys or something along these lines, birds, and raise. Raise is very important. You can't raise an egg in the same way that you're thinking because the chicken lays the egg. So the answer has to be chickens. They raise the chicken, they nurture, they look after the chicken. They help it grow, get bigger. So yeah, it's chicken because of that reason, because of the word raise. So you raise your children is another example of a good way to use raise. I want a raise. That's a good way to use it, but that's slightly different, obviously. Okay, we're going to go to 1, 2, 3. Hopefully nothing changes in the comments. Goose eggs. That's good, Nobby. That's really good. You got it. You got it. Yeah, baby, you got it. You know the song? I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. What is this terminology coming up here? Chicken. Okay, here we go. We got dairy cows, dairy foods, beef cattle, which are raised. We got the word raised again now, so you know a little bit more about that word. Which are raised for their milk. Is it dairy cows, dairy foods, beef cattle? So this is a little tough, I think, but we'll explain about it afterwards. 1, 2, or 3. Sandar's got a sneeze. What do you think? Dairy cows, dairy foods, or beef cattle? 4, which are raised for their milk? This is tough. 1, 2, or 3. I think the wordage is tough. Just a bit of information, background information. Poultry, words like poultry and beef, they're from French. Words like cow and chicken, they're from Old English, because we used the French for things we eat. I don't know why, but some things obviously didn't change. Venison is another one. Deer. What else do we have? Poultry, beef, pork. So dairy cows, dairy foods, beef cattle, which are raised for their milk. Which are raised for their milk. The answer is dairy cows, number 1. So beef, you wouldn't call a cow beef unless you're eating it, I suppose, but usually we use it to refer to something we're eating. Cattle, though, is something you would use to refer to normally a group of cows. And then dairy foods isn't really a term. Well, it can be used, but in terms of, we don't raise dairy foods, we raise dairy cows, because we're raising something. We're raising like something that's living. So we're nurturing, we're making it grow, we're helping it grow, should I say. So you can't really help foods grow in that sense, especially not this type. So it's dairy cows for that reason. So yeah. But yeah, dairy refers to many different products made from cows and goats, and there's a couple of other animals as well. Does almond milk count as dairy? It might do. I'm not sure. Okay, and then the next one. We have nuts. Oh, I've gone back to ABC. We have nuts, and we have seafood, and we have shellfish. The answer is, which type of food does not always have a hard outer shell? Which type of food does not always have a hard outer shell? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Nuts, seafood, or shellfish? Nuts, seafood, or shellfish? What do you think the answer is? We should change from food to something else, I think. Which does not always have a hard outer shell? 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. So it says vocabulary quizzes, but it says comedy or TV series. But is that actually going to relate to TV series? Or is it... Okay, we can do some of that. But some of that's a bit difficult. So we've got 3s and 2s going in for this one. Nice choices. Sports vocabulary. I've got work vocabulary. Here we go. What have we got here? Negotiation vocabulary. That sounds interesting. The answer to this question, which was which does not always have a hard outer shell? The answer is seafood. Shellfish usually have a hard outer shell, and nuts obviously so as well. Okay, there's going to be some good vocabulary coming up. We've only got about 4 minutes, but we're going to try to fire through some of these as fast as we can. So, wish I could just, maybe I can find another way to do this rather than me doing all the writing. Bottom line, John. Bottom line. Or this maybe is going to be overload for some of you, but it'll be some good vocabulary. That one was a little easy, the last 10 questions. So we have hostility, the bottom line, and consensus. So it's a fill in the blank. You're going to hear the blah, blah, okay? You're changing the blah, blah. There's some difficult words here, but let's give it a try. The parties came to blah, 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 after 5 hours of negotiating. The parties came to blah, 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 after 5 hours of negotiating. So is the blah, blah, hostility the bottom line or a consensus? What do you think? The parties came to blah, 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 after 5 hours of negotiating. So we're going to go through these words. There's some nice terms here. They're very advanced terms, but anyway, I think they're quite nice. And we have the opportunity to learn something new, I think. The parties came to blah, 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 after 5 hours of negotiating. That's what we're going to talk about in a second. That's what we're going to talk about in a second, Thandar. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. The answer is the parties came to a consensus after 5 hours of negotiating. Consensus refers to an agreement, or it can be like just, yeah, we're going to say agreement for ease. It is an agreement. So the party came to an agreement after 5 hours of negotiating. Hostility means that two people don't like each other and they're starting to get angry with each other. And the bottom line refers to the very last, like the total on a financial document. So there's 3 nice words there. That was quite a difficult question compared to the other ones, because we were just talking about, we were just walking around in pork and beef. And we're going to go to the next one. Let's try and get another one in if we can. Here we go. Flexible, mutual, and unrealistic. Those are your options. And the question is, it was blah, 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 decision to settle out. Sorry, then we will do it one more time. It was blah, 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 decision to settle our differences out of court. It was blah, blah, decision to settle our differences out of court. Is it A, flexible, B, 1, flexible, 2, a mutual, or 3, an unrealistic? It was blah, 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 decision to settle our differences out of court. What do you think the answer is? What do you think the answer is? What do you think? This is difficult. I have to say it again. I have to repeat the question, the statement, because it's difficult. It was a decision to settle our differences out of court. It was nantoka differences. No, it was nantoka decision to settle our differences out of court. It was decision to settle our differences out of court. This is tough. Don't be worried about if it's difficult. This is like, it's tough. So no worries. We're going to learn some new things here, which is great. A flexible, a mutual, or an unrealistic. And we can talk about it. We're only talking about one thing here because the other two are nonsense. So that's great. It was decision to settle our differences out of court. The answer is 2. It was a mutual decision to settle our differences out of court. So we're going to work on 2 things here. A mutual decision means that 2 people, it's again actually similar to consensus. 2 people agreeing on something. 2 people who have not agreed, and now they have both agreed terms. Maybe both sides are compromising and they have a mutual decision. That means they both agree that they say it's fine. To settle our differences out of court. That means instead of being in court and arguing, they decide to make an agreement together outside of court. Settle our differences. That means that they're both on opposite side, but they want to be on the same level. They want to be at the same kind of idea. So they are going to say their differences are like this. They're going to settle their differences outside of court. Okay, and we're going to do one more because there's some nice words in this. Oh, this last one's tough. Hi, buddy. Nice to see you here. Here we go. This is got some nice words, but this again, we've got 3 difficult ones. We're going to end on learning maybe a lot of vocabulary, but I think it's worth it. Obviously, maybe not for everyone, but I think that these are nice terms to be practicing. So we got haggling, concession, leverage. Haggling, concession, leverage. And here's the question, or here's the statement. We would have more if we had some more recent statistics to use. We would have more if we had some more recent statistics to use. That's fine. That means 3 new words, yeah? And this is all about exposure to language. You don't have to learn it off by heart. These are really specific terms, so don't worry too much about it. But this is your first moment. Don't take it as a negative. Just think, after a while, it's going to become normal if you concentrate on it. If you don't, that's fine, because they're super specific words. Again, haggling, concession, leverage. We would have more if we had some more recent statistics to use. What do you think? Maybe many people find this tough. 2. We would have more if we had some more recent statistics to use. Okay, I'm going to give the answer soon. I think this has trumped many people, not as in Donald Trump. Trumped means confused, or works well for Donald Trump, I suppose. But let's go through it. We would have more if we had some more recent statistics to use. Here we go. That's okay. Don't worry if you don't know. This is really difficult. We would have more leverage. It is leverage, unfortunately, Jacob. We would have more leverage if we had more statistics to use. Now, let's have a look at these words. Haggling. Haggling is where it's like bargaining. It's the same as bargaining. Haggling means you are with a salesperson at the store or at the stall in the market, and you're saying, I want this for $3, and they say, no, I want this, it's $10, and then you're like, no, I want it for $4. How about $4? And they're like, okay, how about $9? And this is haggling, yeah. A concession How would I explain that? Ooh, that's a difficult one. So let's get a proper definition up for that. I've never had to explain that to someone before. Concession is basically like you, let's put it into words, up something in order to get something, I think. Concession, the act of giving, oh, lucky, the act of giving up something or doing something in order to reach an agreement, like a compromise. So haggling and bargaining are similar, and then concession and compromise is kind of similar. You give up one thing in order to get the end result. And then the last one is leverage. So leverage means that you have something that the other person wants, and you can use that to increase your like sale in essence. So let's go back to the, I think I've just gone off of the, here we are. We would have more leverage. We would have more to do different deals with if we had some more recent statistics. So maybe it's a business, and in that business, they had last year's numbers, last year's statistics of sales or whatever, and then they took them into the meeting with like a supplier, and they're trying to sell their product to the supplier for a high amount of money to get the most amount of money, but they used last year's stats. And because of that, their sales weren't so good last year, but this year their sales are really crazy. They're booming. That means they're doing really well. So if they used this year's, they would have had more leverage. Like they could prove they're selling more products. So yeah, that's what that one is. And that is a nice one to end on. Maybe one that has killed a couple of you, unfortunately. Apologies about that. But like I say, some new words. I think it's been useful. Not necessarily words you're going to use every day, but they are quite common though. They are reasonably common, especially when you get into business. So interesting stuff. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you being here and coming to watch this session. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Ciao.